as we take a moment today to reflect on the moms in our lives, we're also aware of the emotional, but also the financial investment that parents are putting into their children. It is a topic of the Bloomberg Weekend essay, as well as the book Overinvested, The Emotional Economy of Modern Parenting. Joining us now is Nina Bandelj. She is professor of sociology at UC Irvine. She is the author and joins me now. Nina, thank you, and pleasure speaking with you today. This article itself, let's start there first. It's about how parenting is changing in the 21st century. There's a lot of things that parents are going through, right? The money, the time, the investment into our children. The big question is always on our minds, are we doing enough? My question to you is enough exactly? Like, what is that enough? Are we looking for? What is enough exactly?
Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for asking this question, because lots of parents are so concerned and so exhausted these days because we invest emotionally and financially, and we want to do the best for our children. And I think partly continuously asking this question is very burdensome. It creates this low-grade dread in our gut that we think we need to listen to all the time, and it's hard to quiet it. So I would say it's important to know that social forces influence how we behave as parents, how we even feel as parents. And these days, this exhaustion, listening to all of the advice, is making us really tired and drained.
I feel you, Nina. I have to admit, personally, I've invested a lot, but both of my kids are athletes, and so the private lessons, the hotel stays, the car rentals, the best top equipment, I mean, you name it, we've invested in it. But I want to bring you something that you say. You say kids are viewed through the lens of human capital. So what exactly do you mean by that?
So this investment that you just pointed to, Lisa, in extracurricular activities, in sports, in skills that kids can develop in addition to going to school, those are the capabilities and skills overall that we call human capital. And economists have proposed that if we invest in human capital of children, then children could reap returns on this investment in their adulthood. So not only do we do this when kids get to school or even higher education to get their occupations, but parents should be concerned about this earlier and earlier, potentially even in the womb, right? Make the womb the first classroom by worrying a lot about what we do when we're even pregnant as moms.
Well, let's talk about this parental shift in reasoning and thought. There's a quote you have in the article. I want to get to it. It says, a century ago, children labored for families. Today, parents labor for their children, not just financially. We toil at parenting. So what's driving this shift?
That's an excellent question, a million-dollar question, if I may. And it took me 10 years to write this book and research this phenomenon over the course of decades. But to be very brief, we, at the turn of the 20th century, saw a transformation when children were useful in the home. They were working, contributing to the family economically, and even in the factories, on the farm, of course, chores in the home. And then they became emotionally priceless, mostly seen as vulnerable, and we would start investing into their education. And this new period is when we as parents think of children as investment projects. We, in a way, bring the logic from the workplace into the home. We think about all of the things that we need to do, toil at parenting, as I say in the book, Overinvested, and try to think about what is needed from us so that children could be set up as well as possible for success.
And it seems like moms are taking a lot of the brunt of this too. What are the consequences to what you call actually child rearing on steroids?
Right. Trying to be a little bit provocative here to note that this is not just run-of-the-mill child rearing. This is not natural. This does not have to be the case. We've seen differences across time and in different countries. And so because it's exhausting us so much, it's time to ask the question, what do we really owe our children? Is it this exhausting, draining financially and emotionally parenting? Or is it time to think about how much this impacts us as parents, to the point of parental burnout that U.S. Surgeon General noted in an advisory in 2024, calling it a public health crisis, but also the consequences for our children? Are they doing all right with all that over-involved parenting?
Well, Nina, you're a mother yourself. How do you find that right balance? What's the answer?
Very, very hard. I will be the first one to admit that it's so hard to change. It feels impossible to do differently. And I live in the same reality as everyone else. But it is social pressures and social norms and the structures that we have in our society that are not very supportive of families, that influence how we are in this modern parenting reality, very troubled parenting reality. So I say to myself from time to time, Nina, your child is not an investment project. Parenting is not supposed to be grueling labor. It's not supposed to be so stressful. What can we do differently today? How can I seek other moms to think about this together? Because only as a society we can make true change.
Oh, Nina, you make it sound so easy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the time. The name of the book, again, is Overinvested, The Emotional Economy of Modern Parenting. Thank you so much, Nina.